Hi everyone, in this video we're going to see the latest version of YITH WooCommerce Deposits down payments. With this plugin, you can offer your customers the option to pay a deposit when placing the order and then pay the balance later on. We're going to see the redesigned dashboard, how to configure everything to set up deposit and balance options, and how to override these options at a product level. Before we get into it, let me remind you that we'll list the links to the plugin, documentation, and live demo with access to the admin dashboard below in the description or in the first comment. And now, let's get to it. So with this plugin, you can offer your users the possibility to leave a deposit when ordering products from your shop and pay the balance at a later time. For example, in this product, the deposit is optional. So you can either choose to pay the full amount, which is $1,400, or you can choose to pay a fixed price deposit, which is $450, and then make the balance payment 7 days later. But you can also force users to pay the deposit, and instead of a fixed price, it can be a percentage out of the total price. So let's go to the dashboard to see how we can configure this plugin. Let's go to YITH, Deposits Down Payments. Okay, so here we have the new redesigned dashboard. We have all these tabs: deposit options, balance options, customization, email settings, your store tools, help, and the option to collapse the menu. So first, in deposit options general settings, we can start by enabling deposit options for all the products in the shop. These are all global settings, so we can override most of these at a product level. Here's where we can set to make the deposit payment optional, so users can choose whether they want to pay the full amount or just a deposit, or if we want to force users to pay for the deposit. And here's the option to show the deposit option selected by default. If we choose to force the deposit payment, then the option would disappear because the only option would be to pay for the deposit. Let me show you. I'm going to save and let's go back to the site. Okay, so this is a smartphone that has the two options to pay a full amount or to pay the deposit. This means the deposit is optional, but due to the option I just changed, if I refresh the page, I'll only be able to pay for a deposit now. No option to make one payment and just pay full price when ordering. Let's go back. Okay, let's select optional again. So like we said, this is the option to select the deposit by default. And then here we can set the default deposit. Right now, it is $20, a fixed amount, but we can also choose a percentage out of the total product price. Like I said before, this can be overridden at a product level or with the rules we will see next. Then we can choose whether shipping costs will be included in the deposit order or in the balance order. And last, we can enable the option to load deposit data dynamically to reduce the loading time for variable products, although this will require a small update every time a new variation is selected, okay? Now let's save options again and let's go over to deposit rules. Okay, so here we can create custom deposit rules by product category or user role, overriding the global settings we have just configured. We can just click here to add a new rule, decide if it's going to be applied to a product, to categories, or to user roles. Let's do product. We can search one or several products here. I'm going to add the iPhone here. There we go. And here we can set the rule to define the deposit type. Let's do 50%. So now we're going to request a 50% deposit for this product with this rule. You can set a percentage or a fixed amount here. Add rule. There we go. Here's the rule with the rule type, what it is applied to, and what the deposit type is. Let's go see that. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, so we have the two options again because I changed the deposit back to optional. And here's the 50% deposit now. Let's go back. And here we can edit and delete each rule. Are you sure you want to delete this item? Yes, we're going to delete this now. So as you can see, we have rule types created by user role to charge a specific deposit to subscribers. Another rule for categories to charge a 30% deposit for products in the woman category, and more. Also consider that this plugin supports variable products, so you can also create a rule to request a 20% deposit for a specific variation and another rule to request a $50 deposit for another variation. Okay, now let's move on to balance options. Before moving on, let me remind you to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell down below so you know every time we publish a new video. Now, let's continue. Here's where we can define how the plugin will manage the balance that customers need to pay at a later date. First, we can decide how to manage balance orders. We can create balance orders with the pending payment status and users will pay the balance online. We can create balance orders with the on hold status, and users will have to pay the balance manually, for example with cash in person at the store, or you can just decide not to create a balance order. If we choose this option, this is where balance options end. But if we select any of the first two options with the pending payment or on hold status, we'll get an additional set of options where we can decide what to do with balance orders if an order contains multiple deposits. We can create a single balance order that includes all products, or we can create a specific balance order for each product. Then we can decide if we want to request customers to pay for the balance. If this option is enabled, we'll be able to set when we want to require it. We can choose on a specific date, so we can choose the date here. This is a general option, so we can override this at a product level. And we can also choose to require the balance payment a specific range of days after the deposit. So here we can set how many days after the deposit has been paid we want to require the balance payment. Right now we have 30 days. Below we can schedule an email to be sent to customers to remind them about the balance they have to pay. We can send it days, weeks, or months before the payment due date. So in this case, the email is going to be sent 2 weeks before the payment due date. And here we can decide what to do if the balance is not paid for by the due date. We can choose to cancel the balance order directly. We can choose to cancel the balance order and refund the deposit, or we can choose to send a reminder, and if after a specific number of days the balance is not paid for, we can choose to cancel the balance order or to cancel it and refund the deposit. Now if you use the plugin together with YITH WooCommerce Stripe, you'll find these options below to automatically charge customers' credit cards to pay their balance orders. If this option is enabled, we can choose to only charge the balance to the credit card if the customer paid the deposit with a credit card, or to force this action for all customers who have a valid credit card register, no matter what they pay the deposit with. And here's the message they'll see in my account and at checkout. Let me show you the message in my account. So here in my account, payment methods, add payment method, I have this message. By adding a credit card, you authorize us to automatically charge it for the costs of the balances created for your account. Let's go back. You can of course edit this text. And now let's go up and move on to customization. So here we can customize the text and labels for the deposit options. We can choose to hide the pay deposit button on shop pages, so they're only visible on product pages. Right now the button is hidden. Let me show you. We only see the add to cart, but let's go back. Let's disable the option, save options, back to the site and refresh. And there we go. We have the option to add to cart and to pay a deposit. Back. Let's enable the option again. We can show custom notices on product pages. If the option is enabled, we can enter here a text to show on products where the balance payment has to be done online. And here we can enter the text for products where the balance payment is not managed online. In this case, it says you can complete this order on location. Let's see that on a product page. Here we have the text. Let's go back. And here we can choose where to position it. We can choose to not show any notes on the product pages. We can choose to add it below the product title, below the product price, below the product excerpt, below the add to cart button, below product meta, or below product share. And then we have the labels and messages. We can edit the text for the deposit, pay full amount, partially paid, full price, and balance labels. Now let's save options. Then in email settings, we'll be able to manage and customize the emails that are sent by the plugin. We have 3 emails right here. An email to be sent to the admin when there's a new deposit, an email to be sent to the customer for the deposit, and the reminder email that is sent to customers to remind them about the pending balance. If you're using YITH WooCommerce Stripe and are charging the balance automatically to your customers' credit cards, this will just be a reminder of the upcoming charge. If you're not using YITH WooCommerce Stripe and your customers need to pay for the balance manually, then this email will include the link to redirect the customer to the payment page. As you can see here, this one is enabled and these ones are not. We can just enable them like this. Let's see, for example, this email, the balance expiration reminder. We can edit the email heading. If we don't change it, it's going to be don't forget to pay for your products. We can choose the email type, HTML, plain text, or multipart. And we have the email content right here. The default email goes, hi customer name, we notice that you still have balance payments that have to be paid in our shop. Then there's a number of days left to pay for the balance and the details would be shown here. We can modify the text by using the placeholders right here and then just save. Then we also have the Your Store Tools tab where we can find additional tools to improve user experience, increase conversions, and loyalize customers. We have lots of additional plugins here, but the best options to use together with YITH WooCommerce Deposits and down payments are wish lists, so you can allow your customers to create lists of products they want and then share them with family and friends. And also gift cards, so you can sell gift cards in your shop to increase earnings and attract new customers. Then we have the Help tab, where we can find our first steps video, a link to the documentation so you can learn how the plugin works, a link to our playlist so you can watch all our videos, the frequently asked questions so you can find answers to your doubts, and here below a link to submit a ticket in case you need help from our developers. So now that we have seen all the options available in the plugin panel, let's go over to products to see how we can override the global rules at a product level. Let's select this icon right here. And by scrolling down to the product data section, deposit and balance, we're going to find the options to override both the deposit options and the balance options. If I enable this first, I can choose to enable a deposit for this product or not. I can set the deposit amount as optional or forced. I can show a custom notice here. And if I enable the option to override global balance options, I can decide if I want to create a balance order with the pending payment status, a balance order with the on hold status, or not create balance orders at all for customers that order this product with a deposit. And I can also choose if I want to require balance payment to customers or not. If I enable this, I'll find the option to choose when we want to require the payment, on a specific date or after a specific range of days from the moment they paid for the deposit. Right now it's 30 days here. And we can also choose if we want to notify the customer about the balance payment. And here we can choose when we want to send that email. And that's it. That's how easy it is to configure the plugin and offer your customers the option to pay a deposit for the products you sell. Okay, so that's how the plugin works. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up and we'll meet again for our next video.